Hello, everyone. It's Fred Staab and Les Jackson. You have checked into Cruise Control Motoring. Les, how are you doing today?
Excellent, Fred. Excellent. We've been driving through the countryside this week and just enjoying the fall.
Yeah, it's colorful.
It's colorful. It's chilly.
That's right. And a perfect time to talk about new vehicles and some of the reveals. And we're starting off this week on Cruise Control Motoring with Kia revealing the second generation of its flagship SUV, the 2027 Telluride. It's an important vehicle, and it kind of gets more of that boxy look that Hyundai and Kia have been getting into their designs, right?
Well, that is right. And we will talk about that, as we will over at Ford. Are they getting ready to switch off the Lightning?
Yeah, big article from Wall Street Journal. Ford is actively considering, according to this article, getting rid of the Lightning. It just never, well, they never got lightning in the bottle.
No.
So it could be the end of that.
They didn't seed the clouds enough to get the Lightning.
Right.
So that's the way it is. And you have something about Nissan.
Yeah, Nissan. So this is one of our under 30 cars, well under 30 cars. You can get kind of two steps up for about $25,000. It's the all-new, very affordable Nissan Sentra. We're going to take a look at it and some of the new features of the vehicle. Seriously, fully loaded, under 30K, well under 30K.
Absolutely. This is probably the best deal you can get these days.
Yeah.
And a new report says GM has two new V8s on the way, larger displacement.
Yeah.
It's been a while since they've had a new V8, but every time they have a new one, it's dynamite.
Yeah, and whoever thought that displacement would go up?
Yeah.
But it is. It is. I mean, yeah, they're not back to 454s, but this is an interesting story, and I'm sure you'll be excited to hear about it. Also, yes, Dodge did put a Hemi in the new Charger, but it's not what you think because you can't drive it on the road. But they did show it at SEMA, and we will talk about it and fill you in, although you won't be taking this one on a highway trip. It would be pretty uncomfortable.
Yes, it's probably a good thing it's not street legal.
Right.
It'll run away with you. And AAA says that lane keeping systems in new vehicles need a lot of work. I have some opinions about that.
Well, and I do too. I find they kind of work well, but we'll talk about
here.
that. Yeah.
Same here.
Yeah, I find them to be helpful. But also, what's new over at Jeep for the Wrangler for 2026? We've got some new features on that.
Absolutely, and this is good news. Toyota wants to pay us for our driving data. I'm all for that.
Yeah, of course, GM got in trouble because they were just taking the driving data and selling it off. Toyota is going a different way. All that and more when we get rolling on this edition of Cruise Control Motoring.
Well, Fred, Kia has just revealed the next generation 2027 Telluride. This is a super popular SUV for Kia. They can't keep them in stock. And certainly there'll be no exception with this. But it's getting more stuff. It's getting a little bigger. It's just, I'm not too thrilled about the colors.
Well, at least this one. I would say, Les, that this really has that Range Rover look that you talk about all the time.
Sure does.
When you look at the rear sail panel there and the back of the vehicle where it kind of comes up high, it definitely has a Range Rover look. It also integrates the handle system from some of their electric vehicles, which is nice. The handle that kind of retracts back into the door. This is hard to believe. This is only the second generation, but it is. The first one was such a hit for Kia that, they've, it's one of those important redesigns. You got to make it great.
That's right.
I'm with you. I don't like this kind of brown tan type of color. I think that's a poor choice.
Kind of a shiny mud.
Shiny mud. But you're absolutely right. It did get bigger. It is now 2.3 inches longer with a wheelbase stretch by nearly 3 inches. That will make a difference for probably rear seat passengers, I imagine, maybe third row passengers. And there's a height increase of about 1 inch. So it's grown a little bit. Also gets one of those kind of square steering wheels, right? So a little bit of the electric vehicles creeping into the non-electric vehicles.
It is. Of course, their interiors are known for having lots of details in the side panels and front panels, lots of shadow lines, different levels. Nothing's flat.
Yeah.
Which is very appealing. And of course, I'm very familiar with the display because I have a Kia, and they're very common throughout the entire lineup. But they're easy to use. They're all touch displays. In my opinion, and they didn't ask me, it didn't really need to get any bigger. But what happens is everything gets bigger.
You notice a lot of commonality. I did recently a review of the Ioniq 9, and which is from Hyundai. That's their big electric SUV. There's a lot of commonality between the gear shift, some of the lighting on the dash, some of the controls. What I'm seeing is a nice size third row, which is good. I think some of that additional wheelbase will be giving some room to third row passengers, which sometimes get the short end of the stick when it comes to legroom, right?
Absolutely. Actually, it's got a third row that looks actually easy to get into and comfortable. You don't usually say that about many other vehicles. I'm using their language here. They embrace a darker, more commanding character.
I tried to do that in my own life, actually.
Well, me too. It doesn't work.
But this is the X version, the X Pro version, which is their kind of more off-roady version. I definitely think I would go with a different release color, but I do like things like how they've kind of hidden the side marker lights, which is nice, kind of hid them in a piece of trim. There's some piano black on the outside around the windows and around that sail panel. There's great detailing in the bumper cover, which is really, really nice to see. So it's not just a big flat piece of plastic. And I do like the taillight design. And I certainly am seeing Range Rover type influences here, although Kia would call that design opposites united, which is sort of their design philosophy going all the way back to 2021. I'm sure this is going to be super luxurious. This is slated to be officially revealed at the LA Auto Show later in November, which is not that far away now. But even the trim on the dash there over on the passenger side, it looks like something out of the Ioniq 9, which is not a bad thing. But
no, not at all. And there's just a little touch of wood-like textures, and you don't see that much in vehicles anymore.
No.
But it's just a little catches your eye.
Yeah, and
organic kind of feel. This is this is a long distance machine. If you want to throw the family in it and head cross country, it's certainly something that you would want to go in.
Yeah, yeah, very exciting stuff, and I'm sure we will have more about the Telluride when the LA Auto Show comes up in a week or so, and so we will keep you informed on Cruise Control. Also, big story, Wall Street Journal says Ford executives are seriously considering canceling the electric truck, the Ford Lightning, after putting it on an indefinite hiatus. One of the reasons they say they did that was there was an aluminum shortage due to a problem at one of their aluminum supplier factories. And that they said we have to make the aluminum go to vehicles that really sell, meaning the regular F-150s with the gas powertrain or the hybrid powertrain. But the Wall Street Journal reports that Ford is losing money on these F-150 Lightnings, and they may just say, the heck with it. What do you think? Do you think they will do that?
If you and I were in the business and we were making decisions, wouldn't we do the same thing? Hey, look, we've had to shut it down because of the supply problem. We're not selling the ones we've got. Let's just cancel it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great vehicle. And people that have them really like them. But the problem is the cost. And let's remember, you still have some people that buy F-150s that will not even do an EcoBoost V6. They still make the V8 version for them because that's what they want. So also, you think about what the Ford CEO said, Jim Farley, he said, hey, the future of our electric vehicles is cost effective. They're going to make a pickup truck somewhere around the size of the Maverick. That's what they're talking about, and keep it, they say, for $30,000. I don't know if they are going to be able to do that, but they do have a whole team trying to make things affordable, electric vehicles affordable. So I think it's a real possibility that they may do it, and this article in the Wall Street Journal kind of is like a test balloon, it's so people won't be shocked.
Yeah. And, why not throw your production into your other truck models, which there's an endless demand for Ford's trucks.
Right.
So I think, this has always been the case in the auto industry. If they don't sell, you stop making them.
Yeah, it's kind of basic business. Sell vehicles that people want to buy.
That's right.
I think, if I recall, like they sold 66,000 F-150s last month and 1,500 Ford Lightnings. So it's something about those numbers that sticks in my head, and you just can't keep doing that. And I wonder if the Silverado EV and things like that will stick around. That's even more money than the Lightning.
Yeah, I think the Silverado EV, nobody's at GM is saying anything yet, but they're having meetings saying, where is the chopping block?
Yeah.
Let's start chopping.
Yeah, you don't build these things for fun because, hey, it's cool. Let's build an electric truck.
These are $90,000 trucks.
Right. And here's the thing. You and I have discussed this on Cruise Control Motoring, that what Jim Farley said, electric vehicles may be vehicles that are affordable. If they can build them cheaply in the U.S., and make them $30,000 vehicles, it makes it a lot more palatable. I mean, whoever thought $80,000 electric vehicles were going to fly and become the norm,
Well, and yes, things have been affected by the federal $7,500 tax credit, but that's not the only thing.
Right.
There are many other factors that have made people buy or not buy
Right. Exactly.
EVs. And there's just been not a reckoning, but a second thought about this in the marketplace. And every once in a while, the industry turns at the wrong street.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
Maybe they need better navigation. Well,
Yeah.
over to Nissan. We have been trying to find affordable vehicles that are under 30K here at Cruise Control Motoring. And here is another one from Nissan, the Nissan Sentra. It is all new for 2026. And let's take a look at it, because the Sentra S, believe it or not, starts at $22,400. And even the top of the range Sentra SL comes in at $27,990, which is not bad at all.
No.
So let's kind of take a look at this a little bit. It includes an available class-leading dual 12.3-inch display, class-exclusive intelligent around-view monitor with moving object detection, standard wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, front and rear zero-gravity seats, a segment-first capacitive touch HVAC controls. Now, of course, a lot of people don't like those, but hey, they are there. And class-exclusive intelligent forward collision warning. Remember, Nissan really puts a lot of safety into their vehicles and makes it standard. And you look at this Sentra with that kind of dark roof and the red in there. It makes it a little bit more stylish. They have the stylish front grille, kind of on an angle. And I also think that Nissan dealers are looking to deal. I think there's a lot of deals out there.
Sure. But what's big about this thing, it is a little bigger than the previous Sentras, but just think about you're a kid going to college, and you've convinced mom and dad you need a car, and they don't say the brand or anything, but they just say, well, I'll tell you what, we're going to get you something that's got virtually every safety feature.
Mm-hmm.
And it has the displays, it has all the bells and whistles. It's got the HVAC, it's got CarPlay, Android Auto. It's just got everything. It has a really nice interior, great safety, lots of color choices. What do you think? Well, I think as a 18 or 19-year-old going to college, you'd say, this is great. It's brand new.
Yeah, and it gets 38 miles to the gallon on the highway, 30 city for a combined number of 33, which is not bad at all. Not bad at all.
No, and insurance is cheaper.
That's a great point you bring up. I mean, that is a big thing if you're buying a car for the first time, and its insurance will be cheaper on this. I don't know what the horsepower is, probably not big. But it also has all the safety features, which factors in too. So for a vehicle that ranges from $22,400 up to $27,990, destination handling adds another $1,245 on there. So you're well under 30, and certainly you can make some deals here.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
This is. There's just absolutely nothing wrong with these things. There's no reason not to buy one. They've been around for decades. They build them well.
I find it interesting that they called out the capacitive HVAC controls, because kind of the trend is to go back to knobs, but it is interesting that they called that out. So that's That's a unique choice, I would say, to call that out. But
well, my HVAC controls are this type, and they're very easy to use, but they do take your eyes away from the road.
Yeah, yeah.
So
still, for a car, you can do cars under $30,000. The average retail price, once again, is over $50,000 for a new vehicle. So this is well under that. And it's a new design. They call it an upscale design, but it is new and, exciting stuff. Hey, over to GM. GM, we've been talking about some of the problems they've had with their 6.2-liter V8. Well, they may have the ultimate solution for this because, according to some reports on GM Authority, new V8s are on the way. We do know that new V8s are on the way because they've put money into plants that build them. But GM Authority says there's new displacements. The 5.3 V8 goes away and is replaced by a number that has been around in the GM world for a long time, the 5.7.
Yep.
And the 6.2 goes up to 6.6. So no replacement for displacement, seems like, right?
This is the first time we've talked about upper displacement in like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. Sixth generation small block. If you asked me a few years ago, I would have said there would be no more small blocks, or if there were, they would be below 4 liters. But this is quite a difference, isn't it?
Well, of course, the 5.7 is headed toward the Silverados. Because you want, more displacement, more torque. The big one is probably it's going to go to Corvette. They seem to already know that.
Yeah.
Corvette loves big engines.
And you think about that. That means the Stingray will be probably well over 500 horsepower.
Oh, yeah.
With their, the base car, which is always funny to say a base Corvette, but it's going to be, pretty intense, don't you think?
I think it's going to be more than intense. It's going to be the closest thing to a thrill ride at an amusement park,
right?
That you can get while you're in control.
Yeah. But I think this will be good. Some people are saying that will go into the Grand Sport. I think it will basically, spread out over the Corvette lineup and Stingray and all that. So it's gonna be exciting and probably more variants on the way too, I would imagine. So exciting stuff from GM with those bigger engines. So Les, keeping the theme going here about V8s, you and I have been prognosticating when would the V8 Hemi make its way back to the Charger, the new Charger. Well, it sort of has, and this was revealed at SEMA. This is not a street legal version of the car, but this is the drag pack. They call it, believe it or not, the Hustle Stuff drag pack by Direct Connection. And it does have a Hemi in the new Charger body. The car looks great as a race car, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Great silhouette and definitely looks great with the parachute on the back. This is a race-prepared version of the next-generation Dodge Charger, and it unites SRT race Hemi power to create the all-new 2026 Dodge Charger Hustle Stuff drag pack by Direct Connection. And it adds that next-generation sheet metal to this new vehicle, drag pack vehicle. It has a 354 cubic inch Hemi V8 engine and is turnkey capable of sub 8-second elapsed times. So this is certainly not a street car, but look, the Hemi does fit. Of course,
Well,
not
barely.
it fits between the shock towers, and I do love the headers that just dump out on the bottom of the car.
Imagine the rumble under this car when you're going down the strip.
As much as I love open headers, it might be a little bit too wild on the street.
Well, yeah, it's and also they've got their wonderful colors back. The B5 blue, frostbite, go mango, cinnamon stick, sublime, and of course plum crazy.
Yeah, you gotta. I think I'd go for plum crazy. What do you think?
I would probably like to go with Go Man Go just because I'm curious what color it is.
Yeah, it's a great looking drag car. I'm sure we're going to see this as funny car bodies too. I'm sure that's in the works, but you know, I just see those shock towers, which I imagine are stock. And the Hemi V8 fitting in between those. Obviously, it's packaged differently for a drag car, but great looking drag car.
That's
for
right.
Sure.
And you can only race it. You cannot drive it on the street.
Yeah, not too many of these available, but it's got all the good stuff. A Whipple 3-liter twin screw supercharger. Holley EFI lightweight Dominator ECU, race pack gauges, and computer recording. It's got a Cone XLT 3-speed automatic transmission with internal accumulator and lightweight internals. So weld racing wheels. It's even comes with some options, 18 exterior colors and 3 wrap graphic options. And lightweight engine component package, including Blackbird Performance front cover and external oil pump kit. So imagine this thing is a turnkey sub 8-second car. Quite impressive. I just love the shot from underneath. That is some great stuff. Hustle stuff.
We don't have a price for this.
No, very few are out there. I think they're going to build 50 of them, and these will be probably drag raced in a series of matched cars.
Probably.
I think it's just a forerunner of what's to come for the street. I think they can fit it in there, and it's only a matter of time. Most people agree with this that we will be seeing a Hemi in that Dodge Charger.
You can see a little bit of the handwriting on the wall here.
Yeah, it won't have open headers. It probably won't have an external oil pump.
Or open-ish headers.
Yeah. So pretty cool stuff. Hey, you have a story on from AAA talking about lane keeping. You and I think this is one of the most helpful things, but apparently, according to this study, AAA says they need some work. And it says basically 13 out of 14 still wander, nag, or check out in traffic. So let's look at the study, and then we'll talk about our experiences.
The AAA, which is very, very good about studying all of this stuff, they're just, as you just said, 1 in 14 earned an acceptable safety rating. That's not good. That means, like 6% of the vehicles have an acceptable rating. Now, you and I have used these systems for years, ever since they were offered, and we have mentioned that some of them tend to wander a little bit in the lanes, and some were just downright not great. But we're looking back, 7 or 8 years. My experience in the last 3 or 4 is that these things have gotten very good.
Yeah,
I trust them.
I would tend to agree. When they first came out, I found they were a little bit too aggressive. If you didn't know it was turned on, you'd be like, what happened? Am I getting a flat tire? It's vibrating the wheel and it's pushing me around, or this, or is there something wrong with the front end alignment? But lately, the ones I have used, and I talk about this a lot on cruise control motoring, that if you're driving and it's a rainy night and it's shiny out and you can't see the lines because of the wet pavement, this thing will keep you in the lane. It does a very, very good job of keeping you in the lane, much better than you can. And
yes,
I think it's a great thing.
And just yesterday, we were talking before the show. I took a drive down into middle Virginia area, Charlottesville, and some 2-lane roads, some interstates, and I let the intelligent cruise control and the steering assist stay on, and I just left them on. I found it was perfectly comfortable. It allowed me to relax behind the wheel. Now you're holding the wheel. We're not
right.
We're not saying that you could read the newspaper.
And that's what I take issue with a little bit here. It says most systems require frequent driver intervention. Well, they do. That's the way they're designed. It's not it's not a fail. They're designed to have you not check out. It is not designed for you to, take your hands off the wheel in most cases.
That's right. Your hands off the wheel is going to be level 4 autonomy.
Right.
And we are only at level like 2.5. Yes.
This is designed to assist, not make you, So this study said it added stress to driving. I have to say I disagree with the AAA on this, because I find it's helpful. I mean, it's not displacing you, the driver, but it's helpful.
Right.
I find most of them will track around curves pretty well.
I find it works very well. And yes, glare and rain affect it. And do we know how many cars that they tried?
They just say 13 out of 14 lane keeping systems will have an issue. But interesting stuff. We'll have to see where it all leads. I think they're pretty good. Let's take a look at what's new for the Jeep Wrangler for 2026. Of course, the venerable Wrangler always getting something new. And the Wrangler Moab 392 is a new feature. Features that 6.4-liter, 470 horsepower V8. It sticks around. This was probably something that was slated to go away, but with the new management or the old management back, they have decided to keep it around. An enhanced door hinge system that makes door removal quicker and easier. Never an easy thing to do, remove the doors.
I've only pulled the hinges off one of these, and this was a number of years ago. It was a bit of a hassle.
Yeah, I like doors. I don't want to fall out.
Yeah, if they've made this smoother, which I'm sure they have, and the door is probably not as heavy,
right?
Then that's great.
Yeah. And then new limited edition exterior colors include Rain, which is REIGN, and late availability for Goldilocks, Juice, which is JOOSE, it's an orange, Earl Grey, and Tuscadero. And then available steel bumpers and a front worn hinge on Willys, the Willys edition, 2-door only. I like the metal bumpers as an option on these things. I think I go with metal bumpers. But engine powertrains are 2-liter turbocharged i4, 270 horsepower, 8-speed automatic transmission. a 3.6 liter Pentastar 285 with an 8-speed or a 6-speed manual, which they brought back. And then the 6.4 liter V8 engine with an outstanding 470 horsepower and 470 pound-feet of torque, paired with only the 8-speed automatic. That's a big deal that they brought back the 6-speed manual for the 3.6. So, they're listening up. You can tow 5,000 pounds when properly equipped with one of these.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got enough power, and certainly these things are rugged. The trim lineup is beginning to get so long that it takes quite a while just to recite them.
Yeah.
And the colors, they've got some clever names.
Yep. Anvil.
Firecracker red, I like that.
Hydro blue.
Yeah. Goldilocks.
41, which is sort of a military green look.
Right.
Yeah. And all are still made in Toledo, Ohio. So that is a source of pride for that plant, right?
That is right. Toledo, Ohio is very, very proud of their Jeep tradition. There's a town that if you go in there and go to a bar, don't badmouth Jeep.
Well, they might be upset about our next story here on Cruise Control Motoring. Ford Bronco sales are threatening Jeep Wrangler's dominance of the off-road market. Will it beat Jeep? Well, in the third quarter of 2025, Jeep moved 128,054 Wranglers, and Ford moved 109,921 Broncos. That's about an 18,000 unit difference.
But it's close.
Yeah. And are they considering Bronco Sports in this too, or just the full-size Broncos?
Yeah. And last year, the Wrangler was 42,000 units more than the Bronco. Now it's only 18,000 more.
So they cut it in half, basically.
Yep. That's a tough mountain to climb. Beating Jeep, which has just had a solid following since World War II.
Mm-hmm.
That's a major achievement.
Yeah, it is. And think of this: the Bronco's bigger. There are all those special editions, the heritage models, and things like that. It's just a newer design. Jeep still has goes back, and it is a basic vehicle, really. But it is beloved. And there is something special about driving in a Jeep. I don't know. It's a special feeling you get in a Wrangler. I don't know. Will they beat it? Will they beat the sales? Bronco?
I don't know. But between Ford and Toyota, they're more than nibbling away at Jeep. They're biting it.
Biting at it, gnawing at it for sure. So we'll have to see. Interesting story from Idaho. We don't normally do a lot of stories from Idaho, but a new bill in Idaho removes front license plate for cars that lack mounting brackets. And believe it or not, 21 states require rear plates only, while 29 mandate both. My feeling is, and this is my feeling with the advent of readers and things like that, I'd like to see them do away with the front plate. And I also think there's technology now that it could be read electronically, and it would look a lot cleaner without them.
Well, I agree. I think that the front license plate, which was just, it was something that you always had. There was one of those things, well, why do we have that rule? Well, there's no reason for it. It's just our rule. and obviously 21 states got rid of it over the years. The other 29 states are just kind of behind the curve. And like here in Virginia, you still have to have front plates. But if you have a car, a collector car, which is over 20 years old, the law says you have to have a front license plate only if the vehicle was designed to accommodate one.
Well, most were, I would say, right? Most were. And this law says that if you have a bracket on the front, well, that makes me scratch my head. Like, for example, I had a vehicle in a state where it didn't require a front plate, but then I bought a bracket to go on the front. So you could always buy a bracket to go on the front of the vehicle.
One of the things that people don't know is many vehicles are built with brackets for the front plate. But if they know it's going to be for sale in those states that have the bracket. When I got my Corvette back in 1971, they put a bracket on it. What I didn't know is if I had just said, I'm not going to live in Virginia, which would have been a lie, they wouldn't have included the bracket. So if the bracket goes away,
right,
then the vehicle cannot accommodate a front plate. And it's just, I think this is just an anachronism. As you said up front, there's so many ways of identifying a vehicle now. It's a waste of time.
I think of like an Apple AirTag where they can track it and and it will come up. I think something like that where, it's a little thing stuck in the trunk. Maybe it's built in at the manufacturer and someone programs it. I don't know. I don't know how you would do it. I think designers would be much happier not to have a license plate on it. Don't you think? I just think, I don't know. It's old technology. But we'll see. And some manufacturers like Corvette would sell a factory tilt down or quick removable front license plate bracket from the factory. So if you showed up at a show, you can take it off and, put it away and probably forget to put it back on before you leave.
Teslas and Alfa Romeos and most European cars don't, the front ends of their car just don't look right with a license plate on it.
Yeah. Yes, you're right. Some of them look terrible with a license plate on it.
They do, and they block part of the cooling system.
Yeah.
They make noise at high speed.
Yeah.
And they're always bent up.
They are always bent up in the front. It's true. Yeah. It's true.
So, let's we're getting officially rid of the penny this year.
Right. Let's take the license
let's just
plate too.
add front license plates to that little mix.
Yeah, I think that's a good way, and it's probably cheaper too. It probably cost save, and you're using less metal. So you and I have talked about all 2025. We talked about former CEO Carlos Tavares, the ex-CEO of Stellantis. He left.
Yes.
And rapid changes happened. The Hemi came back in Ram trucks. All kinds of things happened very quickly. Mm-hmm. And basically his time at Stellantis was not that great for the company and not that great for him, right?
Yeah.
Well, Carbuzz had a report, very interesting, that Carlos Tavares has been talking, and he says that he thinks Tesla could be gone in 10 years.
I
think it could be sooner.
Carlos Tavares. I agree with him. You and I both agree with him, I think. We have both been looking at Tesla and just thinking, this thing is not sustainable.
No. You know, I think it could be even sooner. Of course, now the pay package, which of course is not guaranteed, a $1 trillion pay package.
That's absurd.
They were afraid Musk was going to walk, so they loaded him up. But I just don't see the innovation coming in. I don't see it coming from Tesla. I don't see new vehicles coming in. I see, once again, where's the Roadster? You know, what happened? Yeah, they build the truck, but they don't build a lot of the semi trucks. The Cybertruck, yeah, they built it.
It's a failure.
It's a failure, and the resale on them is very low. So I don't know. I mean, they don't bring out an inexpensive car. They just decontent another one and take out things like the radio. I think it could be sooner. Also, I mean, when they talked about the 5-year plan, and Musk talked about the 5-year plan of Tesla, he talked mostly about robots. I agree. Robots are going to be a big thing, but if you're running a car company, to not talk about new models or self-driving or anything and say, well, you know, let's talk about robots, it struck me as odd. But also this week, some big departures from the Cybertruck team, right?
Yeah. I guess this guy, Siddhant Washti, who's been with them since he was an intern, he's left the company. And I think, now I don't know him, I haven't read anything about him, but I think he's leaving because he's frustrated. He can't get around Musk's erratic behavior. I think that's a good word.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just leaving the truck division. He's going to join some other car company.
I'm sure he'll be welcomed somewhere.
Absolutely.
And probably already has something in the works. But, I think it could be sooner than 10 years. But I don't know. I mean, look at how quickly other manufacturers are bringing out new models, and they're really bringing, I think, a lot of new technology to it. You look at Toyota with solid state batteries, and then also globally, you look at China building cheap electric cars. Over in the UK, that's all you see, basically, is Chinese cars. It's not happening here, obviously, because we're going to tamp that down. But I just think there's better things on the way from other people and more competition.
That's
and you and I were talking about this last week on the show, that I still do think some people, hard to believe, but they don't realize that other people make electric cars besides Tesla, right?
Yeah. So I agree with Carlos, because I think he's right. I think that Tesla, I don't think it'll go under, but I think it'll be sold.
That's true. Who will buy it? And that is,
I think the Chinese will buy it if they're allowed to.
Yes, but then immediately that will probably mean no more Teslas in the U.S., right? I would imagine.
Probably not, but Tesla's lineup is pretty old in the tooth.
I would agree.
Long in the tooth, right? It's they haven't really made anything new in years.
Yeah, and the whole promise stuff and then don't deliver on it is kind of a bad thing. So let's talk about something from Mini, and this is another deal for you. We told you about the Oxford edition before, and this was a very affordable version of the vehicle, a couple of $1,000s under the MSRP of vehicles that were similarly equipped. But now they've expanded this value-driven Oxford edition to the Countryman S All 4 lineup, and it's available in a couple of colors: chili red, Nanook white, or blazing blue, all at no additional cost, so you're not going to be charged for some kind of paint color. Black roof and mirror caps for contrasting sporty look. I love this name. New 18-inch asteroid spoke wheels with all-season tires and anthracite headliner. Pretty well equipped for these models, and these are all 4, so they're all-wheel drive. So the Mini Oxford Countryman S All 4 have a suggested retail price of $34,900, which excludes the $1,175 destination handling. This is a good vehicle if you want to get into the Mini world. This is a good way to do it and get a well-equipped vehicle for a good price point, don't you think?
I think so. I think they're starting to hold their prices a bit more carefully, because in recent years we've both noticed that their prices have been skyrocketing.
Right.
Now they're kind of thinking more practically. So it's good to see what they're offering, and the starting price of $34,900 is reasonable.
These days, it is reasonable. Yes, if you're under 50, it's good.
That's right. It's under 50.
Well, let's talk about another reasonable vehicle, and this is one that gets 53 miles to the gallon. And I drove it. I quite enjoyed it. This is the Kia Niro HEV. So it is the hybrid version. Yep. They also make a plug-in hybrid version, but this is the plug-in. This is the non-plug-in version. Pricing on this, we have some new pricing. All these numbers exclude the $1,445 destination charge. But the 2026 Niro HEV LX, which is the base model, but I'm sure very well equipped, $27,090. This is for a hybrid again, well-equipped hybrid. The EX.
This is phenomenal.
EX, next step up, $29,890, and the SX, $33,090, and then the SX Touring, the top of the range, $35,490. Stylish vehicle, kind of got those Volvo taillights. I drove this, and I thought there was something wrong with it because the gas never went down on a highway trip.
That's right.
Not a barn burner. It's got a 1.6 direct injection 4-cylinder with a 32 kilowatt electric motor. Combined number is 139. But I have to tell you, when I drove it, it's 139 horsepower and 195 pound-feet of torque. When I drove it, it was fine on the highway. And I just love getting that mileage.
They have them geared properly, so where it always feels responsive. And that's, part of that's the way you set up the 8-speed automatic. But the fact is, for a hybrid car with more standard stuff than you would believe, these things are real bargains.
Yeah, absolutely. So one to put on your list, you can get a non-hybrid version. I think I would go with the hybrid version for more power. I'm not sure.
I think I would too for that kind of money.
Yeah. So pretty good deal, and the mileage is incredible. You want to step it up, you can go to a plug-in hybrid, more horsepower, and of course you've got that battery to have the full electric range.
Yeah.
Let's talk about something from Toyota. Toyota, you remember, first off, let's go back to GM got in trouble for taking driving data from your vehicle. and it was sent electronically to them, and they made money off of it, right? And people were very upset about that because they said, that's my data. I should, that you should not make money off of that. Well, now Toyota has patented a system for paying drivers for valuable permission-based vehicle data. So the data would train AI for autonomous driving and improve safety features. This is a patent still. And the patent suggests increased transparency compared to the current opaque auto data practices. So you would have to give it permission, but they would pay you for this. Now, it doesn't, to me, I don't mind if it's monitoring road conditions or talking about bad roads in certain areas. And sending that to Toyota and getting paid for it. I mean, that I would be fine with that. How about you? Especially if I get to sign in.
Yeah, I mean, I think all vehicles, if they're taking your data, should be doing this. And I don't know what they're going to pay, and I don't know how they would pay, but it's the right thing to do. If I decide what data of mine you can sell, and because I don't want you selling, I don't know,
my location, where I've been.
If I'm late braking too much, or I don't want you to sell my data if I'm getting a bunch of speeding tickets.
Right. And people were worried, like, let's say you like going to Dunkin' Donuts, that it would sell that to advertisers, and then every time you go past to Dunkin' Donuts, they'd be like, hey, here's a $1 off coupon, go to Dunkin' Donuts. That was another use of data that they were thinking of. So I like the idea, and some of this sounds very innocuous. It says it would seek to record every pothole you hit, wildlife encounter, unusual road conditions. And if I'm getting paid for that, I don't find that invasive,
Well, right.
But if it's listening to my conversations in the car, yes.
Yeah, this is still, I guess, in the development stage. But I want, if you're using my information and selling it, I want to be paid for it, or I want to say you can't have it.
Right. If that ever comes about, I mean, that would be a sea change for people.
It will.
And nobody reads those disclaimers. I mean, to say, read this disclaimer, this 50-page disclaimer, nobody's going to read that. Matter of fact, I met a guy that wrote those things. He says, I'm a lawyer. I write those things that you or no one reads. So, I said, okay. But, let's face it, manufacturers are looking for after-sale revenue streams. This would not, in a sense, it's less costly to pay you something, even if it's a couple of pennies for the data, than to build a fleet of cars to drive out there and map all this stuff out. Also, you get a lot more data than if it's everybody doing this.
Because this is, when you see it all the time. Whenever you buy something or you go somewhere, they Google and whoever is asking you to rate your experience. Well, no. What you're doing is having me spend my time saying I liked it or I had a problem or something, but you're selling that.
Right. You are selling that.
So I don't rate the experience.
Yes.
Unless I'm
I
rating
don't
directly to the organization.
Although I did rate something where they delivered something to the wrong address after asking my address. So I didn't rate that well because that's bad. You had one thing to do and you didn't do it. So
that's right.
Yeah. So interesting stuff. I don't know. We'll be seeing more about data for sure. Hey, let's go over to BMW now and talk a little bit about their i4 for 2026. They have some updates, and it gains power and range, which is a good thing for any vehicle to gain power and range. They have new silicon carbide inverters to increase efficiency and range on certain i4 models. And the 2026 i4 eDrive 40 is expected to achieve over 300 miles of range, and it depends on which wheel and tire package is fitted.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. And the 2026 i4 adds the i4 M50, which also gains power and now becomes the M60. So that's pretty good. The top of the i4 range receives not only efficiency improvements from those inverters I mentioned, but power. The i4 M60 now produces 510 horsepower at startup, a 41 horsepower increase from the i4 M50, and 593 horsepower when the My Mode Sport is selected. That's up 57 horsepower from the M50. So
yeah,
3.6 seconds through to 60.
I'm always thinking with so many of these electrics that 0 to 60 is less than 4 seconds. How many times can you do that in a row before you get profoundly dizzy?
Well, that's probably true. And you and I were talking about this with Tesla, and that, I mean, these guys, companies like BMW and others, are just eking out performance and really tweaking this stuff every year. I'm not so sure Tesla does stuff like that. Like, hey, we put these new inverters in because they give you better range and efficiency. I don't think they do it. Do they, Les?
Well, I don't think so. I mean, they have the battery plant, which is, they're kind of fixed to a certain design, a certain size of the batteries. I don't think it's real easy to suddenly increase the capacity by 15 or 20 or 30% without a major investment. And, it costs them a lot of money to remove the wooden brackets that are holding them in the car.
Snip the zip ties. Yeah. So I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know for sure. But the fact is, everybody, the other electric manufacturers, of which there are many, certainly over 50, they're quickly surpassing everything Tesla has done.
Yeah. Let's jump over to Hyundai and look at their Nexo. Let's take that again.
Yeah, the Nexo is quite a machine.
Let's jump over to Hyundai and look at their new Nexo. It is, we don't talk about hydrogen that much, but it's still something that I think is pretty important for the future. I love the way they have the electronic side view mirrors. I do think this is something we will see in many cases. But this is all new. Delivers 190 kilowatt total output and a projected driving range of 826 kilometers from a 5-minute charge. Pretty amazing, right?
It is amazing.
It does look a little bit like a Pontiac Aztec in the back. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, they've been in the fuel cell business for a long time, as long as Honda, which is the other company that's that really knows what they're doing. So this where you can get the fuel supply, hydrogen. These things make a lot of sense.
Yes, they do.
But right now the infrastructure isn't there.
Yeah. Will in your thoughts, will it ever get there? I mean, I think it's unlikely currently, but I just think that it's another thing that we should not stop looking at for sure. The Nexo includes a smart regenerative system to reduce driver workload. The intelligent system automatically adjusts regenerative braking based on navigation data and proximity of vehicles ahead. They have a connected car navigation cockpit with two 12.3-inch curved displays, which seems to be the way to go if you want that. I love the side view cameras. I'm hoping that will happen soon here. I think it's quite interesting.
That's very cool, and that's the future.
Yeah. So a dash cam built in that offers high quality front and rear video recording. I think we're going to see this on other vehicles. Neat vehicle. Nexo. I wonder if in hydrogen will be continued to be developed. Is there any country that has a good infrastructure for filling hydrogen?
The future, I believe it's going to be there. This could be 20, 30, 40 years. But it's going to be there because the countries of the future, the Earth of the future, won't be able to use fossil fuels, and you're going to have to use every form of energy you can work out. And there are very good ways of producing hydrogen from seawater and other things. So, yeah, I think once you can produce the material efficiently and cheaply, then the infrastructure follows pretty quickly.
Yeah. Interesting stuff. You and I have driven some of the early fuel cell vehicles. They drive well.
They're lovely.
And it is a great way to fill up and quickly. I filled them up. It's like filling a gas tank.
Drive away.
The big thing is if electric cars can be recharged, with supercapacitors or something like that quickly, then maybe hydrogen won't become a big thing. It will just be ultra fast charging. But we'll have to see, and you'll have to stay tuned to Cruise Control Motoring. So I hope you have enjoyed this edition of Cruise Control Motoring. It's time for me to say I'm Fred Staab.
I'm Les Jackson.
We are going to see you down the road.